Hey guys, welcome to Motion RC. I'm your product specialist, Wesley, and today we have the 64mm V2 F22 out on the runway for a fun flight. I've already done my maiden, and we've flown it a few times now, and I'm getting used to it. We got a beautiful day here in Central Florida, so we are gonna go and see what this thing can do. So first thing we're gonna do, short field takeoff, because it is pretty rough out here. And then we're going to show you instantly how much power this has by going straight into a vertical climb. So here we go, taking off. Full throttle, pick it up, straight into the vertical. If anybody that's flown the old version of this model knows, the old one could not do what we just did right there. So let's get it into some alpha. We got the wind down the runway. It's about 2 to 5 miles an hour right now. And as you can see, very stable in the alpha. I could get it a little more aggressive, but I don't want to tear nothing up right off the bat. So here we go. Let's go into a roll, show you the roll rate. Very fast on this airplane. Let's see, pull it into that aggressive alpha now. Here we go. This is a great plane to practice your high alpha with. Now you don't have a rudder, so you definitely have to drive it around using the ailerons. But it's got plenty of punch where it counts. All right, this time we're gonna come down the runway and pop it in the middle up. I'm flying this on the 2200 4S Pro Pack. Full throttle pass. Very respectable for a 64, man. This thing boogies. And it flies good upside down as well as right side up. So let's go and flip it over here. And you can see that it flies very nice inverted. F-22s have a very special flight characteristic. Being that it's a lifting body airframe, you know, you can fly around fast, but let's bring it back into that slow flight now. This is where you're gonna have the most fun with this little plane, is practicing that slow flight with a jet, which everybody needs that practice with. Working on that throttle control, get that nose up, pretend like we're landing here. And look at how stable it is. No gyro in the model today either. We're gonna do a wing up on this one, kind of like a presentation pass. Gotta be a little bit careful because we're flying across the runway here. But presentation pass. Bring it around. Having a ball with it. Let's do a loop out here in the middle. Here we go, going up. Not the prettiest loop. Into a reverse Cuban. And to show you that power, let's go up. And let's hover this for a minute. And I'm on the end of the dead battery, so I am stopped right now. There she is falling out. And that's my 3-minute timer. So we'll do one more alpha pass and then we're gonna come into land. So I'm power out, getting that nose up, starting to let it use its glide slope to descend, adding the power back in. All right, let's bring her in for a landing. Now, this runway can be exciting because it is full of bumps. So hopefully it's a good landing. Like I said, sometimes it can be kind of exciting out here at this local field. It is not known for its smooth runway, let's put it that way. But we got about a 3-mile-an-hour headwind. I'm bringing my power back in. I'm at about 20% throttle here, letting the plane descend. Flare there at the end. What do you know? Look at that. Little arrow braking. Oh, there's a big old hole. But the little gear can take it, as you can see. And this is a sweet little airplane. Let's get it over to the bench and I'll show you around this model and some of the changes we've made here. So there you have it. That's the all-new Freewing F22 64mm on 4S only now. But as you can see, the performance is no longer lacking in this model. You have all the horsepower you are gonna need to perform your scale maneuvers and not so scale maneuvers. we've been getting used to it, having a lot of fun. For guys that have been looking for a plane to start learning high alpha with, this and our 64mm F-16 are fantastic options for you to use. So let's go over some of the changes now from V1 to V2. This does have a all-new Outrunner motor inside of it, along with an upgraded ESC. I didn't actually remember to show it to you in that, but this does have thrust reversing, which we could go over in future content, or you can always check out some of our other content we've had on this airplane where we've showed off that thrust reversing. You just plug that into any open port on your receiver and assign it to a 2-position switch. Other changes to the model, it has a new fuselage mold. That mold was to accommodate the new larger 4S power system that's in here. The old system didn't have the lip around the outside of it, so this new one has a lip around it that has to go into that mold. The other change to it was up here on the nose. The model has a plastic tipped nose. This gives it a much more scale finish up in the front. They kind of reworked the mold right up in here. If we have the ability, there are pictures that we've shown in some of our other slides of the actual change, but yeah, it really helped make the front end of this airplane look so much better. And the other big change is it got a new paint job. I know an F-22 is just gray like they have been forever, but this one really mimics the larger brother here at Motion RC, the 90mm F-22. And let's show you a shot of those setting together right here. And as you can see, they really look the part together now, of the mini jet to the big jet. Very cool. So let's get into the battery compartment for just a second. If we pop the top of this off, you can see there's plenty of room down inside this. And I am flying one of our Radtron Futaba compatible receivers in this airplane. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, these have been bulletproof for me. I've been using them in a couple models now and really been enjoying these. They're new to the website, so if you haven't checked them out, definitely do. You can also see I have my 4S 2200 LiPo in here. Now remember, if you're getting this model, this is 4S only now. You can no longer fly this on 3S, nor would you want to. That 4S power is awesome on this little airplane. So we've got that. And I had my timer set to 3 minutes of useful throttle, and I overflew that by about 30 seconds on that flight, but I'm sure we're just fine doing that. Let's go to our cell count here. We are at 31% or 379 a cell on that battery. So perfect storage voltage. I definitely recommend you set your timer the same. 3 minutes of useful throttle, be landing around that time your first time, and you're gonna have a good time with this airplane. Well, that about wraps it up, guys. We're gonna get out here and fly this thing some more. Keep on enjoying it. I hope you have checked out the Motion RC customer community over on Facebook. All of your fellow hobbyists there are talking about their Motion RC products. And if you want to get into the discussion, show some of your custom paint jobs, that's a great place to do it. As always, you can also go to Hobby Squawk forums, join the discussion there. And without further ado, whether it's land, sea, or air, MotionRC.com has just what you want. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.